Have you ever wondered why, no matter how relentlessly we chase it, happiness always seems to, well, fade? I mean, we spend so much of our time and energy pursuing that next fleeting moment of joy, right? The perfect vacation, the shiny new gadget, just making it to the weekend. But when the dust finally settles, we often find ourselves right back where we started, perhaps even floundering a bit, wondering why that high just didn't last. It leaves us incredibly vulnerable. Relying solely on something as transient as happiness is literally like building a house on sand. When the inevitable storms of life hit, that foundation simply washes away. We need something so much stronger, a deeper sense of grounding to actually carry us through. So, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to shift our focus completely away from that endless, exhausting pursuit of temporary happiness. Instead, we're looking at something far more robust, the architecture of a meaningful life. Based on our source material, we are going to explore the concept of building a truly resilient life using 4 very specific, highly actionable pillars. And look, these aren't just abstract, lofty philosophical ideas. They are actual structural supports you can start building today. Okay, let's dive into this blueprint. We'll start with the foundation, moving beyond fleeting happiness. Then we'll construct our 4 pillars: true belonging, finding purpose, experiencing transcendence, and your narrative. Finally, we'll see exactly how this creates your anchor of meaning.
Section 1. Beyond fleeting happiness, the foundation.
You see, the fundamental problem with happiness is that it completely depends on external circumstances. It fluctuates based on what happened at work today or what someone said to you in traffic. Because of that, it just cannot serve as the bedrock of your life. Instead, let's look at this phenomenal quote right from our source text. Happiness comes and goes, but when life is really good and when things are really bad, having meaning gives you something to hold on to. Notice the incredible contrast here. Meaning isn't just a life raft for when things are terrible, it grounds you when life is really good too, preventing you from getting totally lost in the ego of success. And of course, when life is really bad, meaning is that essential, solid handhold that keeps you from being swept away. It is the steady undercurrent beneath the choppy surface waves of our daily emotions. Moving on to Pillar 1, true belonging and building bonds. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sharp contrast it draws between 2 completely different types of connection. On the left, we have true belonging. This happens in relationships where you're valued for exactly who you are intrinsically, and you value others the exact same way. It fundamentally springs from love. But look over at the right side. Cheap belonging. This is the counterfeit version. Think of this as bonding with someone only because you both happen to passionately hate the same rival sports team or dislike the same coworker. It's a highly conditional, fragile bond based on shared grievances rather than mutual intrinsic value. And here is the most empowering part of all of this. True belonging doesn't just happen to you by accident. It is a choice. It lives in the small, everyday moments among individuals, and you have the absolute agency to actively choose to cultivate it. You build this pillar brick by brick, interaction by interaction. How? By choosing to genuinely see and value the intrinsic worth of the people around you, and being brave enough to allow yourself to be seen in return. All right, Pillar 2, finding purpose through serving others. So, if belonging is about the bonds we share, purpose is about the direction we're moving. And at its core, purpose is simply taking your own unique strengths and using them to serve other people. Now, for many of us, this service often happens through our work. Work is traditionally how we contribute to society, and crucially, how we feel needed. But hey, even if you don't find it at your 9 to 5, you can find your why anywhere to keep driving your life forward. The essential function of this pillar is that it gives you something to live for. Without that crucial why, without something worthwhile to actually do, people simply flounder. They literally lose their structural integrity. Because purpose is so deeply tied to how we contribute, our source points out something profound about broader societal issues. Things like disengagement at work, unemployment, low labor force participation. It is super easy to just look at a spreadsheet and view these strictly as economic problems. Lost wages, lost productivity. But actually, they are existential crises. Think about it. Prolonged unemployment takes a heavier toll on a person's core identity than almost any other life event. They aren't just missing a paycheck. They are missing a core pillar of their life's architecture. They're missing the opportunity to use their strengths to serve others, and consequently, they lose that vital feeling of being needed. Which brings us to Pillar 3, experiencing transcendence, or rising above. Let's read through this definition directly from the source.
Transcendence states are those rare moments when you're lifted above the hustle and bustle of daily life, your sense of self fades away, and you feel connected to a higher reality. I want you to reflect on that for just a second. Think about those rare, truly powerful moments in your own life. Maybe it was staring at an incredible, breathtaking work of art, or standing in the middle of a massive forest, or experiencing a profound religious service. Moments where your ego, your daily worries, your literal sense of self just completely faded away. In those moments, you're tapped into a higher reality, and that adds a massive, reinforcing layer of meaning to your existence.
And finally, Pillar 4, your narrative, authoring your life. We don't always realize it in the moment, but we hold immense power over our own lives. We are the active authors of our stories. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how to do it. Edit, interpret, retell. Look, you are constrained by the hard facts of your past. Actually, scratch that. You literally can't change what already happened. But you do have complete control over how you are telling the story. You can edit your focus. You can consciously interpret the meaning behind your struggles. And you can retell your story in a way that empowers you rather than defeats you. Reframing your narrative completely changes your life's architecture. Section 6, our final piece, the anchor of meaning and holding on. It all comes rushing back to this concluding thought from our source material. That's the power of meaning. Having meaning gives you something to hold on to. When you actively cultivate true belonging based on intrinsic value, when you find your purpose by using your unique strengths to serve others, when you allow yourself to experience transcendence and connect to something bigger, and when you consciously author your own narrative, you are no longer at the mercy of fleeting fair-weather happiness. You have constructed an unshakable anchor in a deeply chaotic world. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to help evaluate your own life's blueprint. Which of the 4 pillars in your life's architecture needs the most reinforcement today? Is it belonging, purpose, transcendence, or maybe your narrative? Take a moment, identify where your structure might be just a little bit weak, and start building. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.